After 40 years of hard work and saving, you've finally reached retirement. Congratulations! But here's something you need to know. The financial decisions you make in the next few years are more critical than ever. A simple misstep with your nest egg could put a damper on what should be your best years. In this video, I'm going to share the essential strategies that will help ensure your money lasts as long as you do. And we'll start with a simple trick that can tell you, right now, if you're spending too much. Hello and welcome. I'm a certified financial planner, and for more than 20 years, I've helped hundreds of people make the switch from building their nest egg to living off of it. And let me tell you, the skills that get you to retirement are completely different from the skills you need to thrive in retirement. The game has changed, and the stakes are definitely higher. You're not collecting a paycheck anymore. You are now the CEO of your own retirement. So many new retirees fall into one of two traps. They either spend so freely in the beginning that they put their later years at risk, or they're so scared of running out of money that they forget to enjoy the life they worked so hard for. This video is the answer to both of those problems. I'm going to give you 8 specific practical hacks that will create a solid foundation for your finances. These aren't just theories. They're strategies you can put into practice immediately. We'll cover everything from a 5-minute daily spending check to simple investment strategies that protect you from inflation and taxes. By the end of this video, you'll have the confidence to stop worrying about money and start enjoying your life. For new retirees, the biggest shock to the system is the end of a regular paycheck. For decades, your spending was tied to that predictable income. Now, you're drawing from one big pile of money, and it's surprisingly easy to lose track. A lot of people try to solve this with a rigid budget, like planning to spend exactly $5,000 a month. That's a classic mistake. Why? Because life isn't that predictable, and neither is the market. A rule like the 4% rule, where you withdraw a fixed percentage each year, can be dangerous. If the market tanks, you're forced to sell your investments at the worst possible time, which can permanently hurt your savings. The real solution is a budget that's both structured and flexible. I call it the spending guardrails method, and it only takes 5 minutes a day. Here's how it works. Instead of a fixed number, you create a spending range for yourself based on how your investments are doing. Think of it like a highway. You have a speed limit for good times and a minimum speed to keep things safe in bad times. First, figure out your baseline needs. You can use a simple guideline like the 50/30/20 rule. About 50% for needs like housing and groceries, 30% for wants like travel and hobbies, and 20% for taxes and reinvesting. Let's say you have a $1 million portfolio and your target is to withdraw 4%, which is $40,000 a year. That's your baseline. Now, you set your guardrails. Your upper guardrail might be 5%, $50,000, and your lower guardrail could be 3%, $30,000. At the start of each year, you check your portfolio. If the market had a great year, you can feel free to spend closer to your upper guardrail. Go ahead and take that big trip or renovate the kitchen, because your portfolio's growth can support it. But if the market had a rough year, you stick to your lower guardrail. You'll cut back on some of the fun stuff, like eating out less or postponing a big purchase. This protects your investments when they're most vulnerable. And the 5-minute daily part? It's simple. With your morning coffee, just open a budgeting app or a spreadsheet and enter what you spent the day before. That's it. This isn't about judging every purchase. It's about staying aware of your cash flow. It keeps you connected to your spending and ensures you're staying within your guardrails for the year. This simple habit gives you confidence and control. One of the biggest fears in retirement is a stock market crash, especially right after you stop working. Financial planners call this sequence of returns risk. Simply put, if you get hit with bad returns early on, you have to sell more of your investments to live on, which seriously increases the odds of running out of money. The typical reaction is to hoard cash, but with inflation, cash is guaranteed to lose value over time. So what's the answer? A powerful framework called the bucket strategy. The idea is to match your money to your timeline. This way, you have safe cash for now, and your other money is free to grow for the long haul. Imagine organizing your money into 3 buckets. Bucket number 1 is your cash bucket. This holds 1 to 3 years worth of living expenses in super safe, easy-to-access accounts, like savings accounts or money market funds. This is what you'll use for your monthly bills. The goal here isn't growth, it's safety. When a market gets shaky, you can draw from this bucket without having to sell any of your other investments at a low price. This bucket is your firewall against panic selling. Bucket number 2 is your income bucket for the medium term. It's designed to refill your cash bucket over the next 3 to 10 years. This bucket holds investments that are more conservative than stocks, but still earn more than cash. Think high-quality bonds, bond funds, or maybe some conservative dividend stocks. A popular strategy here is a bond ladder, where you buy bonds that mature in different years. As each bond matures, the cash flows into bucket number 1 to replenish it. Bucket number 3 is your growth bucket. This is the engine of your retirement plan, designed to grow for the next 10+ years. This is where you keep your stocks, real estate funds, REITs, and other assets that will outpace inflation. Because you won't need this money for at least a decade, you can afford to ride out the market's ups and downs. The goal here is long-term growth, ensuring you don't lose purchasing power over a 30-year retirement. Here's how it works in practice. You pay your bills from bucket number 1. Once a year, you sell just enough from bucket number 2 to refill bucket number 1. Then you look at bucket number 3. If your stocks had a good year, you can sell some profits to top off bucket number 2. If stocks had a bad year, you can just leave it alone and let bucket number 2 shrink a little, knowing you have a multi-year cushion. This system is psychologically powerful. It separates your risks so you know your immediate needs are covered. That allows you to stay calm and invested for the long term. If a market crash is the loud, scary monster in the closet, inflation is the silent thief. It's the invisible force that slowly eats away at your buying power. Even a modest 3% inflation rate can cut the value of your dollar in half in just 24 years. A lot of retirees make the mistake of playing it too safe, hiding their money in cash or low-yield bonds. They think they're protecting it, but they're actually guaranteeing that their lifestyle will get more expensive over time. So, how do you protect your savings from being quietly drained? You need an inflation-proofing playbook. This means dedicating a part of your portfolio. Experts often suggest around 20-30% to assets that tend to do well when inflation is on the rise. Here are the key players for your team. First, Treasury inflation-protected securities, TIPS. These are government bonds specifically designed to fight inflation. When inflation goes up, the value of the bond goes up, and so do your interest payments. It's a direct shield for your money. Second, real estate. When prices go up, property values and rents tend to go up too. This doesn't mean you have to be a landlord. You can invest in real estate investment trusts or REITs. These are basically companies that own a bunch of properties. They are required to pay out most of their income as dividends, which provides a steady income stream that tends to keep up with inflation. Third, dividend growth stocks. We're not talking about just any company that pays a dividend. You want to look for solid blue-chip companies that have a long history of increasing their dividends every single year. These companies are often so strong they can pass rising costs onto their customers, and then they pass that increased profit onto you as a bigger dividend. This growing income helps you keep pace with the rising cost of living. Historically, the stock market has been a powerful engine for this kind of long-term growth. Fourth, commodities. This includes things like oil, gas, and precious metals like gold. The prices of these raw materials are often what drives inflation in the first place, so owning them can be a direct hedge. Gold, especially, has a long reputation as a safe haven when the economy gets rocky. Just keep in mind that commodities can be very volatile, so it's best to keep this as a smaller, strategic part of your portfolio. By combining these assets, you build a multi-layered defense against the silent threat of inflation, making sure your retirement income can support your lifestyle for decades to come. Mid-video, CTA. If you're finding these ideas helpful and they're giving you a new way to think about your retirement, do me a quick favor and hit that like button. It just takes a second, but it really helps the YouTube algorithm show this video to other retirees who need this information. I appreciate it. Now, let's get to our next hack, which is all about avoiding a huge and totally unnecessary tax bill. You can have the world's best investment plan, But if you ignore taxes, you could end up giving away tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars for no reason. It's one of the biggest mistakes retirees make. They spend their lives putting money into different accounts, taxable, tax-deferred, and tax-free, but have no strategy for taking it out. They just pull from whatever's easiest, usually their 401k, and walk right into a tax torpedo. Here's the problem. Every dollar you pull from a traditional 401k or IRA is taxed as regular income. If you take out a big chunk of money, or when you hit age 73 and required minimum distributions, RMDs, kick in, you can easily be pushed into a much higher tax bracket. This can even make more of your Social Security benefits taxable. It's a chain reaction that can seriously shrink your spending money. The solution is to be strategic about the order you withdraw your money in. The goal is to keep your taxable income as low as possible for as long as possible. For most people, the conventional wisdom works great. First, you spend from your taxable brokerage accounts. You've funded these with after-tax dollars, so you only pay capital gains tax on the growth. And if you've held the investments for more than a year, you pay the much lower long-term capital gains rate. For many retirees, that rate can even be 0%. Second, after using up your taxable accounts, you move to your tax-deferred accounts, like your traditional 401k, and IRAs. You've been putting off taxes on this money for decades, and now it's time to pay up. The key is to manage these withdrawals carefully each year to avoid jumping into a higher tax bracket. Third, and last, you touch your tax-free accounts. This is your Roth IRA and, if you have one, your health savings account, HSA. All qualified withdrawals are 100% tax-free. This is your golden goose. By saving this money for last, you let it compound for the longest time, completely shielded from taxes. Roth IRAs also don't have RMDs, giving you total control. But here's a pro tip. In your early retirement years, before Social Security and RMDs start, your taxable income might be very low. This is the perfect time for strategic Roth conversions. You'd intentionally pull money from your traditional IRA, pay taxes on it at your current low rate, and move it into a Roth IRA. You pay some tax now, but you're effectively prepaying it at a discount, which lowers your future RMDs and grows your tax-free savings. And don't forget the ultimate secret weapon, the HSA. It has a triple tax advantage. Contributions are deductible, it grows tax-free, and withdrawals for medical costs are tax-free. It's the best retirement account in existence for healthcare. As you go through retirement, your financial plan can't just sit there unchanged. Your life changes, and so does the market. A portfolio that was perfect at age 65 might be way too risky at age 75. The problem is, many retirees either never rebalance their portfolio, letting it drift out of alignment, or they rebalance based on emotion, panic selling in a crash or buying a market high. Portfolio drift is sneaky. Let's say you started with a 60-40 mix of stocks and bonds. After a few great years for stocks, your portfolio might have drifted to 70% stocks without you even realizing it. Now you're taking on way more risk than you intended. The solution is a simple, disciplined rebalancing rule that takes emotion out of the picture. It's like a regular tune-up for your investments. There are two easy ways to do this. The first is calendar-based rebalancing. You just pick a date every year, your birthday, New Year's Day, whatever. And on that day, you adjust your portfolio back to its target. If your 60% stock allocation has grown to 70%, you sell some stocks and use the money to buy bonds to get back to 60/40ths. This automatically makes you buy low and sell high. The second method is threshold-based rebalancing. You only rebalance when an asset class drifts by a certain amount, say 5%. With your 60/40 portfolio, you do nothing until stocks hit 65% or fall to 55%. This can mean fewer transactions, but you have to monitor it a bit more closely. A key part of this is the glide path. Your target allocation shouldn't stay the same forever. As you get older, you'll likely want to take less risk. So your target might slowly glide from 60/40 at age 65 to 50/50 at 75 and maybe 40/60 at 85. This gradual shift helps protect your money as your time horizon gets shorter. The real key to this hack is discipline. By setting a rule and sticking to it, you avoid the fear and greed that wreck so many investment plans. Rebalancing isn't about timing the market, it's about managing risk. One of the biggest sources of anxiety for retirees today is the death of the traditional pension. Previous generations had a guaranteed paycheck for life that covered the bills. It was a foundation of security. Today, most of us are on our own, trying to make a 401k and a prayer last a lifetime. Market volatility can make that feel pretty insecure. The problem is the lack of a guaranteed income stream to cover your essential expenses, like your mortgage, utilities, and groceries. When those bills depend on the stock market's mood, it's hard not to feel stressed. The solution is to build your own pension by creating an income floor. This is a reliable, predictable stream of income designed to cover all of your non-negotiable living expenses. Once those essentials are covered, the rest of your portfolio is freed up for the fun stuff and long-term growth, which you can manage with a lot less fear. So, how do you build this income floor? First and foremost is Social Security. For most people, this is their most valuable retirement asset. The decision of when to claim is critical. You can start at 62, but your benefit is permanently reduced. If you wait until your full retirement age, you get 100%. And for every year you delay past that up to age 70, your benefit grows by about 8%. Delaying Social Security is one of the most powerful ways to boost your guaranteed, inflation-adjusted income for life. Next, if you're one of the lucky few with a pension, that's part of your floor. Then, you build the rest of the floor yourself. One of the best tools is a bond or CD ladder. As we discussed earlier, you buy a series of high-quality bonds or CDs that mature in different years. Each year, one matures, giving you a predictable chunk of cash that isn't tied to the stock market's daily swings. A fourth option to consider is an income annuity. This is a contract with an insurance company where you give them a lump sum, and they give you a guaranteed paycheck for life. Annuities can be complex and have high fees, so you have to be careful. But a simple, low-cost version can act just like a private pension, filling the gap between what Social Security covers and what your essential bills really cost. By combining these sources, you create an income floor that covers your core needs. This fundamentally changes the psychology of retirement. Once your survival is no longer tied to the stock market, you can weather any financial storm with a profound sense of security. Every financial expert talks about having an emergency fund. But for a retiree, the whole concept needs an upgrade. When you were working, an emergency fund was mostly for job loss. But in retirement, the emergencies are different. It's not about losing your job. It's about a sudden market crash, a major health crisis, or a new roof you weren't expecting. A simple savings account with a few months of expenses might not be enough. The solution is an Emergency Fund 2.0, a multi-layered system that gives you security without forcing you to keep too much cash on the sidelines earning nothing. Layer 1 is your cash cushion. This is your first line of defense. It's about 3 to 6 months of essential living expenses in a high-yield savings account. This is for the smaller stuff, the car breaking down, a surprise dental bill. It's instantly accessible and completely safe. Layer 2 is your contingency fund. This is where your bucket strategy comes back into play. Your entire bucket number 1, with its 1 to 3 years of living expenses, is your defense against a market crash. If the market drops 30%, you don't have to panic or sell a single stock. You got years of spending money set aside in safe assets. This is your shield against sequence of returns risk. Layer 3 is your strategic reserve. This is a line of credit you have in place but don't use. The best tool for this is often a home equity line of credit, or HELOC. The trick is to open the line of credit when you don't need it, while your finances are strong. It costs little or nothing to keep open, but it's there as a powerful backstop for a true, large-scale emergency. It prevents you from being forced to sell your investments at the worst possible time to raise cash. By structuring your emergency plan this way, you create a robust safety net. This Emergency Fund 2.0 provides deep security and peace of mind allowing you to handle whatever life throws at you without derailing your retirement. Of all the costs in retirement, healthcare is the biggest and scariest unknown. It's the one thing that can wreck even the best-laid financial plans. A lot of people just assume Medicare will cover everything, but that's a dangerous mistake. Medicare has premiums, deductibles, and copays, and it doesn't cover some of the biggest costs like long-term care in an assisted living facility. The problem isn't just the expense, it's the unpredictability. You can't know what your health will be like in 10 or 20 years, but you can build a financial plan to handle the costs. The solution is a healthcare heist prevention plan. It combines smart budgeting, the right insurance, and the strategic use of a powerful savings tool. First, you have to budget realistically for healthcare. It should be a major line item in your spending plan. This includes premiums for Medicare Part B and D, plus a supplemental plan. You can go with a Medigap plan, which has higher premiums but covers most out-of-pocket costs, or a Medicare Advantage plan, which has lower premiums but higher copays when you need care. Choosing the right one is a critical decision. Second, you need a plan for long-term care. This is the single biggest financial risk for most retirees. There are a few options. You could buy traditional long-term care insurance, but the premiums can be very expensive. A more modern option is a hybrid life insurance policy with a long-term care rider. It provides money for care if you need it, but pays a death benefit if you don't. Another strategy is to self-insure by earmarking a specific chunk of your portfolio, say $300,000 to $500,000, as your dedicated long-term care fund. Third, and most important, is to maximize your health savings account, HSA. As we've mentioned, the HSA is the ultimate healthcare account because of its triple tax advantage. If you were able to contribute to one during your career, that account becomes a tax-free war chest for all of your medical costs in retirement, including your Medicare premiums, dental, vision, and hearing aids. By combining these three elements, a realistic budget, a long-term care strategy, and a fully funded HSA, you can turn the biggest financial unknown in retirement into a manageable challenge. You can't always prevent health problems, but you can prevent them from ruining your financial security. We've covered a lot, but the core message is simple. Managing your money in retirement is an active job, not a passive one. But it doesn't have to be stressful. The 8 hacks we discussed are using spending guardrails, structuring investments with a 3-bucket system, building an inflation-proofing playbook, being strategic with your withdrawals, sticking to a rebalancing rule, creating an income floor, building an emergency fund 2.0, and having a healthcare heist prevention plan. By putting these logical strategies in place, you build a financial plan that's flexible and strong enough to handle whatever comes your way. You can finally shift from worrying about your money to actually enjoying the retirement you worked so long and so hard to achieve. You've earned it. Now that you have the big picture framework, the next crucial step is mastering how to get money out of your accounts in the most tax-efficient way. That's why you'll want to watch this next video on the best withdrawal strategy for 2025. It's the perfect next step to optimize your plan. Just click on the screen to watch it now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Hit the bell icon for the daily updates. Please do like, subscribe, and share with your friends.